to the coffee shop to get a coffee, do some work. Forgot the work and the camera. The place I'm visiting is called Portfolio. It's by far my favorite coffee shop in the whole Long Beach area because, number one, it's big, has a lot of workspace. I guess I should probably show it. There we go. Big, has a lot of workspace, free Wi-Fi, of course, and plenty old plugs. One of the things that bothers me, and you know, not that I have a right to it, but one of the things that bothers me is like when you have a work-based coffee shop like this one, but don't have any plugs. So anyway, but here we are. I don't need a plug today. We're going wireless. Drop my pen. So as I was saying, this place, my favorite coffee shop in town, only because it's cool without being too cool, right? It's not the hipster place, it's not the hoity-toity snob coffee joint. It's cool because the people are cool, they play cool music, they do good things, and I get work done there. I can get work done, and it's local. I'd rather support local than, you know, some chain. So I love this place. I love this place. And this is why, one of the reasons why I love this city. I mean, yeah, there are other cities with coffee shops of their own, of course. But where I grew up, this didn't exist. And so, yeah, I really appreciate these guys more than anything. If you ever come to Long Beach, go to Portfolio Coffee. About today is a little idea that I've had recently about myself and my projects, the things that I do, a question that I'm asking myself. And that question is, what would that look like? And the reason I'm asking this question of myself is that because it's very easy for us to come up with big ideas and want to do all these things, have these giant lists of things that we want to do, but not take action on any of them. I've done that enough. So if I have a list of things now that I want to do, I sit down and I write them all down. In fact, I've got my little war book here of all the things. Show it. Right there. All the things I want to do. I break all these things down, then I ask myself, what would that look like? And then I break that down. I ask that question, then I break it down. What did that look like? If I want to do this thing, like you probably saw in there, art and design swag, or books and zines, what does that look like? Big picture idea, art and design swag means shirts, mugs, hats, whatever. But why and how? And where does it get implemented? And how does it get implemented? So I'm visualizing the whole thing right there on the page so that I know, okay, I'm solidifying this in my head. This is my plan. And I can keep it here in the book. I can post it up on the wall if I want. And I can just constantly refer to it to remind myself that's what it's about. Because I want to be able to say to myself, I know exactly what needs to be done now. Now I just need to take all those little things, all those tiny little things, break them down into projects, break them down into tasks, and then take action. And I'm still not looking in the right spot. I'm gonna get it eventually, I swear, I promise. But now my coffee's getting cold, so, you know, back to work. So it's the next day, obviously, not nighttime like it was before. And I'm thinking more about what I was talking about in regards to what would that look like? What does that look like? And along with this being a plan for trying to figure out next projects, how they work with your current projects or your current setup. Another important factor to asking that question rather, is asking it from the standpoint of how these things work with your brand. These new projects, these new things you want to add, whether it's products or services, whatever, how are those going to work with your brand? It's important to understand how cohesive these things are. And if they're not cohesive to what you're doing right now, you either need to pivot or you need to decide which one of those is more important, the stuff you're currently doing or the stuff that you want to be doing. Branding is no joke, because if you flip-flop too many times, trust me, I'm the king of this, but if you flip-flop too many times, people are going to start to wonder about your dedication to what you're doing. Just walking down those stairs, running my hand down the bar, and at one point I guess there was a light pole above and the birds were pooping on the hand pole, and I ran my hand right across it. Thankfully it was mostly dry, but still kind of sticky. So this is Long Beach's official pier, Veterans Memorial Pier. Not many people come out here. Compared to other piers in Southern California, not many people come out here. It's because it stinks like fish. But we're gonna go out there so you can have a look. Where most piers in Southern California are about the tourists, some sort of misplaced idea on how this is a tourist attraction. This one is not. This is all about the families who come out here to fish, feed themselves, and yeah, so that's why it smells like fish. Very blue collar, but hey man, everybody's got to eat. Hey look, there's our friend again. What's up, dude? Alright, so this is another Long Beach institution coffee shop. This place has been around since the 70s. This was here before any of the Starbucks, any of the Pete's, any of the other coffee shops in town, and it still existed because they've chosen to be the alternative to what we deem as normal. And I don't come here as often, only for one reason, and that's because it's one of their benefits, which is roasting their own beans. You go in there and you smell like beans when you come out. I'll show you that in a minute. So you might be wondering, how does my story of Long Beach have anything to do with what we're talking about when it comes to making a plan? And it really comes down to this. Number one, I love this city. I absolutely love this city, and I feel like I need to share it with other people. Number two, because of that, this town is as much a part of who I am as anything. Now, I wasn't born and raised in this town. I've only been in this town for about 10, 11 years now. But as soon as I got here, I knew I was home. It's got the really nice beach community, as you can see right here. These homes are $1 million homes, most of them at least. But right up against it, in certain areas, certain parts, is the grit and the grime and the gangster that you all know about. The stuff that Snoop talks about. But let me tell you what, Snoop doesn't live here anymore. It's a little too gangster for him. But it's that grit, it's that grime, it's that blue collar aesthetic that we see in the pier and on the beach and in the city streets. It's in the food, in the different types of food, whether it's the expensive stuff that we see down here in Belmont Shore, or the mom and pop Vietnamese pho places and Cambodian places up there on Anaheim. On top of all that, there's a really decent creative community here in Long Beach that is not being used to its full potential. There's so many people here that could really benefit from some assistance, some help, some push. It starts at the core with the artists and works its way all the way up to the people at the top of the city council. We need more creative push, and that's kind of one of the things on my what does it look like.